Radical.
Welcome to Flea Market Stories, documenting one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. This is going to be a quick one. Hope you don't mind that it's a quick one. This actually, I had this recorded, and the second part of it got cut off somehow in the editing. Well, not the editing, but the actual recording. So I just kind of, wanted to finish it. Last one was actually going to be a lot longer. Going to talk about two things that happened last weekend. One, let's talk about the old man. The old man's trunk. Okay, so people come to me all the time there at the table. I think that time somebody came to the table earlier and said he had some PS4 and PS5 games for sale. He's very persuasive, and it is PS4 and PS5 games. So usually people come by and tell me they have stuff for sale. I really don't want to buy anything, though. I'm trying to get out of the habit of buying things from people, especially PS4, PS5 games, because I can't really test them. And I'll explain, I can't test them here on site. So unless they're sealed, I generally don't, I don't acquire them. And they could say they work. I'd be like, hey, you know what? Unless I know the person really, really well and I deal with them, I don't, because I've been burned in the past. Not saying your stuff's not good, but I've been burned in the past. So it's just my, what I do here and whatnot. Or if I do pay for them, it would be very, very, very low because I can't personally test them. Unlike 360 PS, 3 games that I have the system there on site. But yeah, the old man, he came by and he was looking at my table, looking around stuff, and he had some stuff he wanted to show me his trunk. So he said, he's like, hey, I got some stuff in my trunk over here, you might want to see. And it's always good policy to follow an old man and see what's in his trunk. It's always good policy. Anybody, when they say that to you, hey, I got some stuff in my trunk over here you might want to see. Actually, no, it's not. It's terrible advice, especially if it's late at night. Do not, especially ladies, any ladies listening, do not follow an old man to go see what's in his trunk, okay? Do not, right? But broad daylight at the flea market with lots of people around, okay, yeah, you can do that, right? And also had my assistant there at the table, who's very, like I said, a very valuable asset, even in situations like this to where I might need to walk away from the table. I trust this guy for a couple minutes with the table. So I walked just several feet away to where his car was, and I was getting excited. I was getting excited thinking, hey, you know what? This guy's probably got some good stuff in his trunk. Otherwise, why would he want me to come over and see what's in his trunk? If someone says, hey, you might want to see what's in my trunk, they got to have some great stuff in their trunk. It's got to be some premium stuff he's got in his trunk. I go over there. I'm just buzzing in anticipation. He opens his trunk. He doesn't tell me what's in the trunk. He opens his trunk, and what do I see? What do I see? Lots of rare sports cars. No. Lots of rare 80s toys. No. Lots of rare comic books. No. Lots of rare video games. No. You know what I see? And I get instant deflation. My balloon was instantly popped when I saw all he had to show me was 4 trays of DVDs. Not special DVDs, not collector's edition DVDs, not Super Mario, not Super Mario or Sonic DVDs. Not even all DVDs, but mixed in half with VHS tapes. Oh, goody gumdrops. VHS tapes. I might get a nickel for each one of those, huh? Find somebody with a VHS player at the flea market, huh? So it was like 1988 up in here. Yeah, VHS tapes. I'm not saying like there's not some collectible VHS tapes. I'm sure there are. Maybe some first print Star Wars might be collectible. Maybe some Disney stuff, but it's VHS tapes, man. It's When Harry Met Sally, man. It's like Die Hard, man. It's common movies I saw on VHS. But I wasn't rude. I said, oh, okay, yeah. I got some nice stuff here, I kind of felt bad for the guy because he's very, very sweet old man, very nice old man and everything. Nice guy. I mean, I made him sound shady earlier on, but he wasn't a shady guy. Very friendly guy. And I gave him compliments on his Honda Accord. Literally had a used Honda Accord with only 60,000 miles on it. I said, you know how much of a find that is? 20-year-old Honda Accord with 60,000 miles? I told him, dude, that car is going to last forever. And it was owned by an elderly woman who barely drove it. Arrgh! Arrgh! Tell you what, if you find a Honda Accord with 60,000 miles that the little old lady had, you grab that shit. You grab that shit like a pair of delicious melons you get at the grocery store. You get that shit, okay? Nothing better to have than a very nice condition Honda Accord as far as reliability. Maybe a Camry or something like that, but yeah, especially these days, you can flip that thing for a ton of money. It was pretty silver, not a scratch on it too. Now, if he was selling the vehicle, I brought that up like, hey, I might be interested in buying the vehicle, but no, he was just selling the dusty old VHS tapes. I felt bad for the guy, so I got one of them. I said, you know what, I'll take that one. And it was a good purchase. I'm happy with my purchase. $2 I spent for Married with Children, Volume 1. And I watched all the way through. And I might do like a DVD review of Married with Children, Volume 1. Yeah. And I have a customer who was specifically asking for Married with Children on DVD. So I could sell that for a profit, maybe $6, right? I already watched it, so all works. So yeah, the guy said he has a lot more, and I said I have a lot more, so I'm not really looking specifically for DVDs at the moment. But since he was a nice fellow, I said, if you find any video game stuff, let me know. Like older video game stuff. And he didn't know anything about video game stuff. So we had this like 5-10 minute conversation, and I'm writing down things on a piece of paper. I look for N64, and he's like, what N64? I don't know anything about video game stuff. I think he must not have had like video game stuff. And he's an old man, so maybe like he never had video game stuff. Maybe video games weren't even invented when he was a kid. I'm not sure. But he kept saying he was at a loss. And I wrote down 3 words: Pokemon, Zelda, and Mario. I said, if you see any cards that say Mario, Pokemon, or Zelda, then, text me. I gave him a number. I was like, text me if you see that, Quickly, I want to like also mention outside of that story is there's a guy there that you got with the motorcycle helmet and whatnot, and he tries to help. He sometimes, for some reason my stomach is bubbling. I think I might need to go to the Radical Throne in a moment. Not sure, so I'm going to make this really short. He goes and he sometimes helps me out, and I help him out, give him deals and whatnot. Sometimes I hold things for him and say, hey, just hit me back that $5 next week. I know you're good for it. So he goes across the flea market and he looks at video game stuff. And I always say, always call me if you see like really good deals. And he gets excited about the video game stuff. He's far more excited about video game stuff than I am. So he calls me and I always say like, how much does he want for the stuff? He's like, well, these PS4 games, I think he wants $10 to $15 for the stuff. And I say, no. I say, no, I'm not, because how much money am I going to make off of that? And, like I said earlier, are they going to work? So worst case scenario, I'll buy a PS4 game, God of War, $15, and I have to clean it, make sure it works before I sell it. And then if it doesn't work, then, okay, I'm out of that. Unless I resurface it or, I'm just out. So you're just taking somebody's word on it unless it's sealed. Only way I'd go for that is if they're sealed. I'm like, are they sealed? And he would say, no, they're not sealed. They're loose. And I tried to school him on this. I might have like a guide on, I'm not going to even do a guide. I'm just going to say, he saw that and he also called me and he saw like a tub of Atari stuff. I don't know much about Atari stuff. I know it's not as sought after as Nintendo stuff, I will say. And I say that as someone that really doesn't know a lot about the retro game market, except for what, I get asked for, what people are excited about. Hell, maybe if I ask some Atari stuff, people jump at it. I don't know. He saw a tub of Atari stuff, maybe like 30, 40 games, and they were in the boxes, and the guy wanted 110 for the tub. Most of them were in the original boxes. And he said that. They're in the original boxes. I'm like, okay, in the original boxes. Honestly, could I make money off that? Yeah, maybe. But I was thinking in the back of my mind, okay, it's after noon, and he's been there for several hours. and they're still there. They're still there. If that was a tub of SNES games or N64 games, it would be gone. It would be gone. It's one thing I explained to him. This time of the day, if you're going around looking at game stuff, man, if you're going looking at the game stuff and a lot of it's still there even, and it's not hidden and it's in plain sight, then that means it's not as super sought after as, you think. Because usually stuff goes really quick at the flea market if it's a good price for the item. You might still see some stuff there that, a lot of my stuff doesn't fly that quick because I price my stuff higher than maybe people just trying to sell them for next to nothing because it's the flea market. But I can defend my stuff saying, well, it's installed and it works. I also explained to them, if I spend that 110 on those Atari games, then I have to minus that from what I've made today. And then I have to wait to resell that. So I don't want to do that, especially with, car in the shop and there's some other things I want to do. I got a fence around my house I want to get built because, new neighbors are moving in. So I don't know what they're going to be like. So I'm just like, I'm going to build a fence and everything. I have a lot of things that I'd like to do with the money, and I see it as an investment. And unless if I know some people that want the Atari stuff right now, then no. Because those Atari carts, they do not have a Mario and a Zelda and Pika. Is that how fuck he sounds? I don't know. They don't have those Nintendo characters on there. Even if it was like Sega stuff with Sonic. Maybe Sonic I might go for if it's like a lot of Sonic carts. But I've noticed even like Sega Genesis or like Sega games are not really sought after right now. Am I wrong on this? Tell me in the comment section down below if I'm wrong. But from what I'm seeing, at least on the Goodwill bids and eBay bids, Sega Genesis stuff seems to not be like really sought after at all compared to like Super NES stuff and N64 stuff. And that's obvious because, outside of maybe Sonic the Hedgehog, Sega's not even in it anymore. And it's kind of sad to see. No, it's actually not sad to see, because that means you can actually get Genesis games really cheap and you can build a Genesis collection. And Genesis, awesome console, right? So, yeah, there's that. But that's flea market stories for this evening. That's all, folks. Stay tuned tomorrow for, as promised, and don't forget to save, don't forget to tune in to check out my sports card collection tomorrow. It's actually not that big of a sports car collection. I got rid of a lot of it, but there will be my entire sports car collection tomorrow.